it's Ian Gutowski, CEO of HemHealer, and today I want to talk about a customer story I had just yesterday. A lot of times, if there's an issue, a problem, something's not working, it'll get up to me, okay? So you might be somebody that's still on the fence with trying my product, but we really do everything we can to help. So, and that even includes a lot of the times where I basically talk to my customer service rep nearly every day, and I still check some of my own emails, and also really bad cases and things. There's a lot of people out there that I even give out my personal number to. So I really go above and beyond to try to help you guys out going through hemorrhoids. I had them for 15 years. They were terrible. So, I mean, it was the last 6 months were just awful. So what I like to do is talk about some interactions that I've had recently. Well, it's just this one story, but it's super interesting because it was kind of a flip-floppy day. I had a customer was pretty upset, and we were trying to do our best to help, and I don't know. I think sometimes when there's even times where I'll tend to not sell to a negative customer. So if they're very negative and they're already skeptical, not in the sense of like, is this going to work? But like, oh, nothing ever works for me. This isn't going to work for me. And a lot of times then what happens is people take it one day, miss it a day, take it for 2 days, miss it 2 days. So the whole thing is just mindset is really, really important as well. I think, we've all seen things kind of happen in our life when we have thought really well about something and see it kind of materialize. And then we all have this self-destructive nature that we can see kind of play out too, where we kind of destroy our own lives at times, right? So that's what I really wanted to talk about today, because the customer that talked, very nice guy. I was on a plane flying back. I actually flew into the storm. This hurricane carries my name. It's going on right now, the first kind of wave of it here. So I'm just trying to get some work done. It's hard to stay away from work even when I'm supposed to, I guess, sit around and watch Netflix or something. But anyways, we were talking about just sort of like lifestyle stuff, right? So when I had them for those 15 years, I still had a lot of like really unhealthy behavior. So I still have a drink from now at a time, and there's some times where I partake, and maybe a few too many, right? But what I really try to do is limit myself of being very, very precise. I don't want to get myself into any sort of state that I'm dealing with my problems by, finding substances, which is really easy to do these days, and it's completely understandable. It takes a lot of work and a lot of discipline to just be good at the game of life, right? So we were kind of talking about, so it was kind of interesting because he had just gotten the product. He had a few questions. He's like, I'm a bit skeptical. I'm like, all right, cool. So what's going on? And we just started talking about the choices in life, that he's making right now. And he's like, well, I work out really hard. I'm like, that's great, And if you're watching, I'm not going to give a name or anything like that. And I actually really enjoyed our interaction. So don't think that I'm picking on you. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm actually using this as a something for some of us need to hear. I think especially in the man space, that we get broken down pretty hard, and we're kind of told to act the opposite of how we should be acting in a society. So HemHealer has always been kind of a thing for me to also get out there and kind of speak the word and tell you, like, talk to men that are going through more than obviously. If you have hemorrhoids, it's not because everything's going peachy a lot of times in our lives, right? There's a lot of things: obesity, high blood pressure, stress and anxiety is through the roof right now. Relationships are becoming tougher and tougher to keep into play. Lord knows. I mean, Lord knows. So there's all these things that come into play. So when we talk about what a hemorrhoid is, we're going to somehow hemorrhoids fit directly into the purpose of life, right? So hemorrhoids, I always say this, if you watch my videos, I'm always like, hey, it's just an inflamed blood vessel, right? It's an inflamed blood vessel, so we have to really take a look at, hey, what's causing this inflammation in my system, right? So when I think about or when I talk to people, I try to get really into it, where I'm like, look, I'm not here to judge anybody. That is not my job. I really genuinely want to get people their life back, because hemorrhoids are absolutely devastating, right? So it's being like, hey, okay, there's a lot of good things. And he's like, well, I drink real heavy. And I'm like, oof. So if you think about even that, and I think I know a lot of men fit in this category of like, if they can work really hard in the gym, chances that they can play really hard at the bar, right? Those two things seemingly go hand in hand. So, but what you're talking about when you do those sort of things, right, is that you're already causing a lot of strain and stuff if you're squatting, anything like that. And then you have to think about, okay, I'm dehydrating my body constantly, right? Nothing you can do about it. Actually, a lot of fitness models, what they'll do before a shoot is they get like real drunk the night before because it just soaks all the water out of them, right? So they look really chiseled and whatnot. Side note. So the thing is like, when you think about that, it's like, okay, well, I'm already putting a lot of stress and strain on my body. Plus, the drinking is going to take a lot of the water that my body really needs to help grow it out of there, right? And then we're talking about, inflammation in the body, right? So, liquor, all that stuff does that as well. So, and then also you also say, hey, I got some other things going on, man. I got stress, I got anxiety. So I'm like, well, hey, I try to talk a lot of people into like Wim Hof. If you don't know who the Iceman is, it's interesting stuff. Never really considered myself like any sort of like a hippy dippy guy, but I'm always out there searching for answers. And I like, when I find something, I like to share it, right? So like, that's what this is as well. And it came back. So I always talk to people, look, stress and anxiety, especially as a man today, is, I think, on a much higher level. I know that these days are harder than I've experienced in a long time, just to keeping my disciplines going and keeping my life going in the right direction, right? So if I'm feeling that, I know a lot of other people are feeling that as well. So that's why I really want us to take the time tonight, if we're taking Hem Healer or we're putting the stuff to get rid of our hemorrhoids, that we're also really evaluating our life, especially as we get older, guys. Like, look, I'm 45 and I can tell you, like, you can start to feel the breakdown, right? Like, I work out a lot and I can't, people ask me like, well, hey, what do you bench? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't want to put that kind of stress on my body anymore, because if something breaks or tweaks, I mean, it can take so much longer to heal than when you're like 19 and you're basically like Wolverine, right? Where just like, whoosh, and you can hop back out and play and do whatever you want. It doesn't work that as we get older. And, I've had some friends that had some injuries in the gym and now they're out of shape and they're like, oh, the shoulder, right? Oh, it's my shoulder. If my shoulder didn't give out, I'd still be ripped. So those are like the things that we have to like really think about and evaluate and start moving in that direction. Because what I always find too is like we get hyper into things. We're like, where am I gonna go? Especially guys, we're like, I'm just going cold turkey and I'm going at it. And I think the thing to remember is just like, we have to keep kind of tripping until we get the pace and the cadence of the race, right? I think about myself like with the gym, where gym used to be really, really tough to get into, right? So I'd go for a couple weeks and then I'd trip, boom, 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 1, 2, 3, and I'd be like, okay, I have to go back now. I've gotten 4 days off, I can't do, and then go for a little bit more and then fall down again and being like, okay, I missed another 3 days, but I just kept at it and I didn't stop. And now I don't miss the gym that often. When I do miss the gym, it's like I had some travel days here a few days ago. I can't work out, but like I'll even travel to where I'm like, okay, I can go to the gym in the morning and then I can go to the airport and then and then the day that I get home, I have time to go to the gym. That's what I did last night. So I can go off the plane, boom, gym. So you get into it. It's just like, we have to stop being hard on ourselves. Like that constant negative thing, like, oh, you can't do this. The results aren't showing. Results take time, right, too. So that's why I also talk about the length. This stuff can work in a couple of days. It might take weeks as well. If you're using Hem Healer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a bit longer than I thought I was going to do, but I don't know. This is always something that I like to. This is kind of the interaction I like to have with you guys when we talk on the phone or if we're texting with one another. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. All right, we can actually do some things here. This stuff will kill it for you, and then maybe we can institute some things into our lives that make us better people and better versions of ourselves. All right. Click the like if you liked it. Say something down there as well. I really enjoy doing this type of content. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.